let's make our way over to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game number 1 of this best of 3 series between these two Division B Northeast teams.
Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Here we go. Thanks for sticking with me. So I mentioned a bunch of heroes earlier, but looking at current trends in Storm League, the two tanks played or banned the most on this map are Diablo and Johanna. Johanna has really great wave clear. Diablo is just a nuisance across the board. Can be very tough to kill. But we see an Alarak ban from Uncomfortably Numb to kick things off. Of course, the two teams very likely have done research on each other, so we'll see some things that aren't necessarily meta in terms of Storm League and so on. Let's see what the response is. From amateur opponents, it's going to be Hogger. Pretty common ban, actually. Hogger is tough to play against, especially on maps that have a lot of opportunities for him to bounce around. Tomb of the Spider Queen does have some hallways, some narrow spaces where Hogger can get extra value, and there's a Lucio ban. That's the second ban during the first ban rotation. Actually, I think I have... Alright. That's actually... I think we have the teams... I think the teams might be flipped a bit. Amateur opponents are actually on the left side of the screen. Alright, so Uncomfortably Numb actually banned Hogger and Gazlo. So let's see what the first pick is for amateur opponents.
Here we go again.
And it will be Chromie. Chromie's been doing very well in the game of late. Lots of control options. Can put out damage from a safe distance. Johanna, one of the premier wave clear tanks. As I was saying earlier, that's important on this map. So she is commonly seen here. Second pick from Uncomfortably Numb. Malfurion.
Grant us strength.
Malfurion has a powerful root, has healing reduction at level 4 as a possibility. It's a very good healer in team fights. If the opponent team is bunched up, you can get extra value. Let's see if I can swap the names here. See if that works out.
Victory above all.
Alright, so we have Stukov and Sylvanas. Sylvanas can work really well with objectives like the one on Tomb of the Spider Queen, where you have the ability to shut down defensive structures that can really help the spiders as they march across the lanes. Stukov, powerful healer just in general, but also has very strong CC in the form of silence. And we see a Mei ban, the last ban from Uncomfortably Numb in this particular game. Mei can be pesky with blinds, area control, stuns, slows. Kitchen sink kind of hero. And Zeratul, the final ban out of amateur opponents.
Cheers, love. The cavalry's here.
Tracer is picked, as is Hanzo. So there's a 1-2 DPS punch from Uncomfortably Numb. And there's Diablo, so both of the tanks that I mentioned earlier are indeed involved. Artanis, the final pick from amateur opponents. Blinds could be quite good against Tracer and maybe Hanzo, depending on how Hanzo is built. Artanis also has the level 1 talent amateur opponent, which suits the team very well. And the final pick, Spicy, Valera. We have a stealth hero in the game. Valera, lots of CC options. Seeing if I can change the titles of the two teams at the top of the screen here. Okay, I think we have it worked out. And that will be the draft for game number 1 on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Alright, so a lot of strength on both of these drafts. Going to be interesting to see how they interact. Valera Tracer is an interesting combo. I can't say I've seen that combo recently, so that'll be really fun to see how it's put together by Uncomfortably Numb. So yeah, I don't know, I'm liking both of these drafts. I like the sort of unconventional elements from Uncomfortably Numb, and just straight up power level of amateur opponents. It's going to be something to contend with. Let me know what you think. Chat, who has the edge on this draft as we load into the map. How much value is Tracer going to be able to get? How much value will Valera get? Chromie has ways to reveal the map and unveil Valera. If Valera isn't stealthed, she doesn't have quite the same strength that she would otherwise, so that could be interesting. Amateur opponents have a nice disengage with Stukov if he goes with the sort of the AoE slappy arm ultimate. Could slap the entire team away from Uncomfortably Numb, so lots of interactions to look for. Game on. Here we go. Map number 1 between these two Division B Northeast teams. On the blue side, we have amateur opponents. Stukov, played by Butte Holiday. Chromie, played by SonixBro33. Artanis, played by Terminator. Diablo, played by Eday15. And Sylvanas is played by Cactus Hand. On the red side, we have Uncomfortably Numb. Famous is playing Hanzo. Pilot of Earth, playing Malfurion. Valera, played by Spectre. Tracer, played by Mr. Monkey Man. And Age will be playing Johanna. Talents are at the bottom of your screen. We already have Spectre lurking around just below mid lane. A couple of spells thrown at each other. We have some decent poke out of both of these teams. Chromie on one side, Hanzo on the other. Just to name a couple. Looking for some first blood. Both teams are hungry. Cactus Ham, 140 health, is able to get away. A root is thrown down by Pilot of Earth, but no deaths yet. We're still on a clean sheet. 0 kills for each side as the rotations begin. Again, we want to collect the gems from the spider minions and turn those in at the throbbing eggs. There are 2 of those turn-in points on the map. So you'll often see a rotation between top and mid. Let's check bot lane real quick. Spectre's very low. Terminator sort of having their way early on. Spectre blinds Terminator, whose health has dropped precipitously since I first looked down here. Cactus Ham is making a move. Boy, both of these heroes are... Oof, both were under 100 health, and the Spectre pulls out that mini victory. And first blood is drawn. And it looks like elsewhere Hanzo was killed. Stukov getting the credit for that. Mr. Monkey Man is in trouble. Can Tracer escape? Eday lunges into the vent and flips Tracer, and Tracer is blown up. So what started as a bloodless match quickly has become a 3-kill affair. Bottom camp was taken by the team in blue. And we're seeing an early Sylvanas push. This is something that Sylvanas does quite well, shutting down those buildings, as I mentioned earlier, getting some value from the siege camp. We have a response from Spectre and Famous trying to slow down progression of all those blue creatures as they push in. Terminator and Cactus Ham are keeping at it though. The entire gate is gone, including both towers. Meanwhile, we have a 3v3 in the middle. E-Day hanging out in the vent looking for a target, goes after Mr. Monkey Man, gets rooted. We have 2 different fights going on. Tracer goes to bot lane. Puts her bomb on Cactus Ham. Does not result in a kill though. E-Day, does E-Day see the play there? Tracer was in the vent, managed to get out without getting stunned. Close call for Mr. Monkey Man. And the bulk of the action's going to move back to mid, perhaps. Although Tracer's looking bot. Tussling with Terminator. Going to see a lot of sneaky plays out of some of these heroes. Sonic's Bro, 33, getting out with 200 health. Chromie's going to have to go back to core and reset. Valera saw a target. That's E-Day 15. Down to 70 health and blown up. Hanzo gets swapped after getting that kill. And now Famous is extremely low. But he survives. And Valera is going to get the kill on Artanis. Bottom lane is empty of blue heroes. Some XP is going to be lost there. Things are looking pretty good so far for Uncomfortably Numb. 3 kills to 2. XP is pretty even. Amateur opponents actually has maybe a slight lead, the slightest of leads, a hint of an XP lead. Both teams do have enough gems to summon the spiders. As Age turns in their gems, sometimes it can be tough for Johanna to turn in, since she has to be so involved in wave clear and other tank duties. Now we have a bit of a scrum over the bottom turn in. Cactus Ham low, having to back out. E-Day sees a flip on Johanna. No additional charges done after that. And we see more of the red team turning in. But blue actually beats them to the punch. So we're going to see the blue web weavers descending first. As amateur opponents gets the first turn in of the game. Usually you want to push all 3 of these lanes as forward as you can because the spiders drop where the minions are. And spiders drop pretty much mid lane in the top 2 lanes. Amateur opponents are going to pressure top lane almost exclusively, or mid lane rather, almost exclusively. And Johanna is going to get blown up by Chromie. E-Day rotates to top lane where Mr. Monkey Man and Powder Earth are clearing that web weaver. And bottom fort goes down. That spider is still 50% health as well. Pretty decent value for a first turn in for amateur opponents. Hanzo has to leap away after he escapes Silence Circle. Diablo is rooted in place, takes some damage, but is able to walk away. Mid's Webweaver and bottom Webweavers were still alive until just then when bottom Webweaver finally died. And that will be the end of the first objective phase. We have level 10s from both teams. Amateur opponents still ahead in XP. We're going to hit level 11 first. And there might be some interest in taking bruiser camps at this point. Yes, both teams working on that. As far as ultimates go, we have Flailing Swipe, Slowing Sands, Suppression Pulse, Apocalypse, and Wailing Arrow out of amateur opponents. And Uncomfortably Numb, who just finished their bruiser camp pretty much at the exact same time as amateur opponents. They're going for Dragon Arrow, Twilight Dream, Cloak of Shadows, Pulse Rounds, and Blessed Shield for their ultimates. No Falling Sword shenanigans. So both of these camps gave their teams spellbound protection. Uh-oh, we have Johanna having to pop Iron Skin, very low health. And Artanis is able to finish off that kill. The Spectre's super low, almost gets swapped. But not quite. And E-Day sees the play on Tracer. Tracer is blown up. 5 kills to 3. Amateur opponents still in the lead in that category, as well as XP. Level 12 to level 11. Almost a full level lead. Valera dying. Artanis missed the swap on Valera earlier, but then was able to finish it off camera. And amateur opponents pressuring top 4. They get level 13. They're going to want to use this advantage somehow, somewhere. They do have a turn in. Lanes are pretty favorable for them in top and middle. Diablo zoning out, Uncomfortably Numb. And there is the turn-in secured once again by the blue team. Amateur opponents getting 2 turn-ins in a row. More blue giant spiders will be dropping down from the sky momentarily. 3 members of amateur opponents pushing top lane so that the spider will drop down even closer to this fort that is in dire straits. It's definitely going to go down during this objective phase. E-Day right on top of Age. Iron Skin is used by Johanna. And that fort is destroyed. Stukov is blown up. Malfurion getting the kill there. Tracer barely escaping a swap. But Johanna is going to die, as is Chromie. Here comes the blood. Blood on the dance floor. Another swap, just barely missing Famous. Valera was killed by Diablo. Cactus Ham, 79 health. Tracer finishing the kill. From the shadows, Mr. Monkey Man made that play. 3 health. That was a 3 health Tracer being chased by E-Day. And she's going to die to PvE. Oh, the humanity. Uncomfortably Numb have to clean up these lanes. They're pushed against their buildings. Uncomfortably. Amateur opponents starting the boss, burning through it rather quickly, so there's going to be additional pressure in top lane. Uncomfortably Numb hanging out mid, trying to decide what to do next. Slowing Sands cutting off Age's retreat. Now Age is in an uncomfortable position. Is able to get away. Famous hopping over the wall, as Hanzo is wont to do. E-Day getting the stun, and there's a silence underneath. Johanna's able to get away from the silence and pop her Iron Skin. Sylvanas gets blown up by Valera. Valera swapped. Spectre is stunned, flipped, and blown up. 10 kills to 7. We have 4 heroes aside on the map right now. The boss makes it all the way to the keep. Puts some hurt on it, but Uncomfortably Numb still has all 3 keeps alive. So there is a tick in the positive column for them there. Level 16 to level 15. Oh, and by the way, the red web weavers were summoned. It's going to be tough for them to get much value because the lanes were so unfavorable to Uncomfortably Numb. They are able to get some progress made at top lane. Top lane is going to become increasingly important as this game goes on because of the boss that we saw earlier. So if you're going to open a win condition on this map, top lane's a good place to do it. And there's the swap, just the tip. Famous leaps over the wall. The Spectre flipped. We have Terminator blown up by Tracer's bomb. The Slappy Hand disengaging for amateur opponents. And now we have 5 members of Uncomfortably Numb on the map and only 4 amateur opponents. Let's see how Uncomfortably Numb uses this advantage they have. It's 15 more seconds. They get another turn in as a result. 2 members of Uncomfortably Numb trying to advance bottom lane just to create some additional pressure down there. Amateur opponents very wisely took their camp in mid. That should help a little bit with that lane. And all 5 members of amateur opponents are going to try to clear top lane. They know how important that lane is in the late game. Slowing Sands makes an appearance yet again on the map. Doesn't really touch anybody. We're seeing progress in mid being made by the red web weavers. That's where the 2 teams are going to clash. Bottom lane is also getting a nice bit of pressure applied on it. Johanna's rooted, flipped. Iron Skin is used. She's slapped to the bottom of the mid lane and is blown up. And Tracer's going to die too. That's 2 kills for amateur opponents. They're going to try to catch Spectre perhaps. Terminator sees some opportunity here. There's a nice swap just to stay engaged on Spectre, but she pops her stealth and walks away. Meanwhile, top lane, Pilot of Earth is slowed by Sands, flipped, and destroyed. All 5 members of the blue team marching in may want to finish off one of these keeps. They might even see a possibility to end this match with 3 members of Uncomfortably Numb. Off map, they are on core. Are they going to be able to finish this core call? E-Day charges in to get Age out of the way for a bit. Core's down to 50%. Butte Holiday using the slappy arm to disengage, and that will be game number 1 for amateur opponents. GG. Alright, folks. Quite the match. In the very early going, it was bloodless, but then it got bloody real quick after that. Nice back and forth to it, though. We had a couple of web weaver phases for amateur opponents. And they got a lot of progress out of, a lot of value out of those, of the objectives they took. But Uncomfortably Numb was able to respond, get a couple turn-ins of their own. It's just that late game team fight, Uncomfortably Numb sort of got spread a little too thin with heroes in different lanes, and a couple of, well, 3 kills, and that's all amateur opponents needed. They made so much progress earlier in the game, they were able to just go top, finish off that keep, and push into core. Nice core call from amateur opponents, and map number 1 goes to them. look at the talents real quick. Let's see what we get for game number 2. Uncomfortably Numb will have the choice of either having first hero pick or the map. So let's see what they choose. Terminator doing a good job with XP, getting the most in the game, 10,500. Followed closely by Sonicsbro 33's Chromie, also in the 5-digit area. Looks like we're going to Battlefield of Eternity. And let's see, it looks like amateur opponents chose this map. So Uncomfortably Numb will have first pick in game number 2. They're looking to win this so they can take us to a third game. Amateur opponents, however, if they win this second map, they will qualify for a domination, and they'll get 3 points on the night. 1 for each map and a bonus point for the shutout. Alright, so here we go into map number 2, Battlefield of Eternity. Both teams are ready.
Battlefield of Eternity.
Alright, so we might see the likes of Li Ming make an appearance here. Heroes that can do a lot of PvE damage tend to do well on this map. You have a race element where there are two PvE targets in the middle of the map that need to be killed, basically. So there's sort of a DPS race involved. So you see the likes of heroes who can poke that from afar safely, like Li Ming, but you also see the likes of Vala, you see Raynor, might see Artanis again, they're very common. Alright, but getting into the bans, we see the same 2 bans coming out right away from these 2 teams. Amateur opponents banning Alarak, Uncomfortably Numb banning Hogger. See if there are any respect bans based on what went down in the Tomb of the Spider Queen. Chromie, there you go. Chromie having decent impact in the first game. Not only with standard assassin duties, but also a lot of XP generated. Hanzo ban. Those are 2 heroes that we saw in game 1 we're not going to see in game 2. But who are we going to see? Diablo is very popular on this map. Brightwing we might see. Zul'jin has been doing well on this map.
Our world is worth fighting for.
And there is the Mei pick. Mei was banned in the first game, if memory serves, but not this time. During the objective phase, 2 teams are running around the middle of the map. It's full of choke points and hallways. Hero like Mei can have quite an impact there with her AoE slows and stuns and so on. Johanna's going to be playing for the blue team this time, along with Anduin. It's a popular pairing. Anduin has an AoE stun light bomb that can be applied to Johanna. If Johanna goes with one of her ultimates, Falling Sword, that can be particularly flashy. So we'll see if that combo comes up.
The wait is
Lucio
over.
and Cassia. Cassia is just all around very strong these days. Lucio gets even more value on a map like this where he can easily maintain his, well, everything that is tied to his wall ride ability. So he can be extremely slippery later on. He might get the talent where he gets armor during wall ride. Arthas, the final ban from amateur opponents. And Sonya. Sonya, mentioned her earlier this evening. She's been doing very well in the off lane and in team fights, especially with her slam build these days. But not this time. Uncomfortably Numb wanting to shape the off-lane experience for themselves, getting rid of 2 off-laners. There's Li Ming, as I mentioned before, and Raynor. So in Storm League, they are the 2 most played heroes on this map, and so we're seeing a very meta rotation out of amateur opponents with those 2 assassins. They're a very strong race right now. Along with Li Ming's reset capability. If a hero in red trunks dies, Li Ming's cooldowns are instantly refreshed. The response, Kael'thas and Leoric. So we have to see whom shall Leoric be lined up against in that off lane. Kael'thas, CC, there's a stun out of the assassin slot. That's rare. Kael'thas provides that. Terminator chooses Chen. Chen versus Leoric. I like it, Chen. It's not someone I've seen yet so far in my cast this season. So this should be fun. Chen can be quite pesky. I wonder what ultimate we're going to see out of Terminator with Chen. Is it going to be the Panda Pals, or is it going to be the barrel? The barrel could be especially annoying on this map with all the hallways and so on. Get extra value if you can bump people into walls. Alright, so we went from, on the side of amateur opponents, some meta picks into a Chen, which isn't exactly meta. And on the side of Uncomfortably Numb, some intriguing possibilities, but with Cassia. Mei, let's see how Mei uses her abilities in this, during the objective phase especially. Lucio is one of the strongest healers in the game right now, I would think. Wonder if we'll see high 5 out of Lucio. That gives the target unstoppable status. Could free someone from an Anduin route, perhaps. Anyway, here we go. Game number 2. Amateur opponents in the blue. We have Anduin played by Butte Holiday, Li Ming played by SonicsBro33, Chen played by Terminator, Johanna played by eDay15, and Cactus Ham is playing Raynor. And on the red side of the map, we have Uncomfortably Numb.
Battle begins in 10 seconds.
Kael'thas played by Famous, Lucio played by Mr. Monkey Man, Maze played by Novus, Cassia played by Pilot of Earth, and Leoric played by GHC Spectre.
To arms.
The 2 offlaners starting in the offlane, of course. And we have a 4v4 in bot. Kael'thas going with Mana Addict. I know a Kael'thas player who gets tilted when Kael'thas's take a certain other talent to level 1. We're not seeing that though. There's a stun on Sonic's Pro 33. The firebomb is spread to Cactus Hand. Otherwise, we just have the usual poking and dancing around. Usually if you see a kill early, there's another stun, this time on Raynor. Raynor taking a lot of damage, and there's first blood. Kael'thas getting the kill. I was gonna say, when you get an early kill here, sometimes there's a move to take the bottom siege camp, but it may be just a bit too early. Death timers are very short at the start of the game. And with that kill, Uncomfortably Numb are saying, we're here to play, we're here to extend this to a third game. And they have a little bit of an XP lead. Sonic's Pro hanging out in the vent. Wei Ming likes to be on the periphery, throw out those orbs like you just saw there, doing damage from afar, from the shadows. Let's check on top lane real quick. Looks like Terminator's doing pretty well so far against Leoric in terms of health bars. Spectre's just having to kind of be patient, dance around. It's all about getting the XP. Amateur opponents starting their Bruiser camp. It's the most powerful camp in the game if you can get it to progress during the objective phase. Meanwhile, on the red side of the map, Mr. Monkey Man and Famous doing the same thing, but their Bruiser camp. Neither of the two siege camps have been taken by these teams. Although, just as I say that, Cactus Hand has made a move up and is starting to clear that top siege camp. Starting to capture it, rather. eBay getting a little bit of a pull in on Pilot of Earth. Novus saying, why don't you have a taste of this blizzard? Top camp is taken by Cactus Hand. Captured at the exact same time as the Bruiser camp. And Uncomfortably Numb takes their Bruiser camp as well. So here we go. We're going to have both Bruiser camps marching down the lanes. And we're mostly fighting over the red Immortal. Uncomfortably Numb electing to defend to start with. Terminator. Chen is getting very low. And he is pulled to safety, question mark? Yes, by Anduin. But Anduin and Chen, they both get blown up. There was a glimmer of hope for Chen, but it didn't last very long. That's 2 kills for Uncomfortably Numb. They are up 3-0 in the kill count. And they are defending their Immortal still. No one is racing on this side of Uncomfortably Numb yet. Leoric does make a move onto the blue Immortal. Danger is pinned on the map. Li Ming is poking from the Bruiser camp area. Novus sliding in. And that's going to result in a Raynor kill. 4 kills to 0 now. Both teams still at level 6 though. Cassie is starting to work on the blue Immortal. See if Uncomfortably Numb can extend this defense long enough for the blue Immortal to die, or to be captured rather. It's a long way to go. Amateur opponents have put out a lot of damage onto the red Immortal. Lucio dips down into bot lane to get some extra experience. This could be 4v3, 4v2 now. And amateur opponents win the first objective. The Immortal's about 50% shield. It will have a ranged attack until that shield is gone, then it'll have to resort to a melee range attack. Amateur opponents supporting it with 4 heroes. It'll be Chen versus Kael'thas in the bottom lane. The Immortal is now in melee mode. One tower was destroyed by amateur opponents. Let's see if they get more value out of this objective phase. Yes, the other tower and gate are down. And we have a fight behind the Immortal as Uncomfortably Numb pushes in and tries to get something going on in the team fight area.
I must rest for a time.
Uncomfortably Numb looking at top camp. They elect not to do it quite yet. Cactus Ham and E-Day 15 stealthily sneaking around outside of vision. Ooh, they're going to go all the way around and look for the pick. But THC Spectre is able to snip away with his Ghost Phone. And these two teams are going to exchange camps. Amateur opponents leaving bot lane. They want to respond to this push. Chen asking for help up here. Which way will this go as amateur opponents moves in? Novus is so low and Chen jumps in and gets the kill. Mei is blown. Now Lucio's in trouble. Heading perhaps in the wrong direction, but the only safe one. Oh! The jukes are real. 100 health. But not real enough. Anduin getting the much coveted healer on healer kill. That's got to be an achievement. Should be an achievement if this game had achievements. Anduin getting the best of that exchange. Famous throwing out their ultimate just to sort of dissuade amateur opponents from doing much more damage against that top fort.
Repent before my wrath, demon.
Uncomfortably Numb doing well to get their camp out. That's going to be pretty darn valuable as amateur opponents did not get their bruiser out.
Be warned, allies. I move to new ground.
But the blue Immortal is healthier. And amateur opponent is now working on their bruiser camp. Uncomfortably Numb doesn't like that. They're moving in. ETC KT throwing out a bunch of damage. We have Snowball thrown out. And we have a full-on war over this camp. Uncomfortably Numb does take it. They might get a Cactus Am kill as well. He's down to 100 health and blown up. Chen at 50% health.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
Not only that, but Uncomfortably Numb destroyed the top fort with their camp. And now amateur opponents has to clear up, or they had to clear up bottom lane from that stolen camp. And it looks like Uncomfortably Numb are getting so much value from that camp that they're just going to be able to finish the objective in their favor without too much additional trouble. 5 kills to 2 from Uncomfortably Numb, flipping the script in game 2. They won a game 3, folks. Here they go. They're already on the wall. They want to give their Immortal as much help as they possibly can before it even lands. There it is. Just like in the first phase, this Immortal has 50% shield. Ranged attacks, going to finish off that gate structure. Now it's on to the fort. Theming poking with a well-placed orb. Fort's going to go down. Easy peasy. Chen is counter-pushing top lane. Will get that fort as a result of their effort. This Immortal's still pretty healthy. At 80% health. And it's on the Keeps gate. Famous throws out KT's ultimate again, just for a little bit of a zone. And the Immortal is on the keep, doing damage to the keep proper. Lucio breaks it down, provides that white shield for their team. And there's Mei's Snowball. Grabs Cactus Ham. Rainer's blown up. Spectre also is destroyed. Ball Lightning comes out, bounces around and gets value. That's a Li Ming kill. Out comes Panda Pals. KT's gonna have a tough time surviving that. Indeed does not, and is blown up by Chen. It's gonna be 3 kills to 1 for Uncomfortably Numb. Only KT is down. Uncomfortably Numb thinks about pushing to core, but no, maybe not. Death timers are still pretty short, only in the 10th minute of this game. Well, 11th minute as of now. And Uncomfortably Numb's going to back off, happy with what they achieved with that second objective phase. Much value. First keep of the game is destroyed in their favor. Amateur Opponents does have the beginnings of a win condition created top lane, thanks to Chen's efforts earlier. The bottom siege camp is taken. Uncomfortably Numb moves in. Or rather, Amateur Opponents moves in onto Uncomfortably Numb. Out comes Lightwell, or Light Bomb, saying all the right things. And Mei is going to die. Amateur Opponents is not done yet. They want the domination. This is anybody's game. 14-14 in terms of experience levels for these teams. And now it's 8 kills to 5. Amateur Opponents catching up in that metric as well. Chen going in. His stone lit on fire. He's able to mitigate most of that damage. He's poked a bit by Lucio. And the objective phase is upon us once again. This match is moving fast and furious. Amateur Opponents do not want to suffer what they did last objective phase, so they're on that bruiser camp right away. Uncomfortably Numb, sensing that's what's going on, they wisely take their camp as well. Smart play from both teams. Chen is going to be working on top lane a bit while the rest of their team focuses on the middle of the map. These have a 5v4 for a moment until Chen gets here, and there's Terminator. Some poke damage going out against the Blue Immortal. There's Blessed Shield from Johanna. Iron Skin is popped as well. Break it down. 2 members of Amateur Opponents are sent over a wall by the giant snowball out of Mei. Famous is super low, 340 health, as is Lucio. Chen will have none of that. Panda Pals leaps onto Lucio, and Lucio is blown up. Out comes Ball Lightning from Cassia, bouncing around to full effect. Not resulting in a kill though. Novus is low. KT is low, having to go bot and deal with this lane pressure. As Amateur Opponents pushes in on the Red Immortal, we see Chen responding to the pressure top lane. Red Immortal takes some damage, so now Amateur Opponents is slightly ahead. We're not quite at halftime. Halftime happens when one of the Immortals hits 50% health. Uncomfortably Numb moves back in. They want to even the score here. Looks like they're going to do it. Amateur Opponents reset just a little bit. Some of them tapping there, it looks like. And halftime occurs. We have a swap. The Immortals moving around just a bit. And now part 2. This objective phase lasting quite a while. As both teams are able to sort of keep themselves alive for the most part. Have a couple of deaths here and there. And Blue Immortal seems to be taking a little bit more damage than the red one. Here comes Light Bomb. All kinds of... Ooh, there's Ball Lightning. Ultimates everywhere. Chen with only 60 health. Might have been saved by that snowball. E-Day walking away with just a little bit of health as well. Butte Holiday having to retreat, chased by Mr. Monkey Man and Novus. And Uncomfortably Numb are looking pretty strong here as they secure the second Immortal in a row. Amateur Opponents going to reset. E-Day going all the way back to the Well of Souls. Resetting. And the Red Immortal's going to go top lane and march down toward Amateur opponent's last remaining keep. May did well to tag this siege camp, so there's going to be an additional bit of pressure in top camp. Timed really well with the Immortal. It's going to be a big blob of mess for the blue team to take care of. That's the technical term. Terminator taking all kinds of damage. Priority Panda. Cassia will be the first one to die, not before Ball Lightning gets out and puts some hurt out. Li Ming will die, but only after Leoric does. That's going to be 2 kills for amateur opponents and 1 kill for Uncomfortably Numb. The top keep on the blue side of the map is below 50% health. Looks like it might go down. We'll see what Cactus Ham and company can do to save it. No, the keep's gone. Amateur opponents have no more keeps available. Meanwhile, 2 catapults, those do a lot of damage to the core if they can get there. They have to be dealt with by a Terminator. Mr. Monkey Man is moving down to the bot siege camp, starting to turn the map red, 1 camp at a time. Amateur opponents need to stop the bleeding. 18 to 18. Even though they have no keeps, they are at the same power level. All is not lost for them. Uncomfortably Numb, after those last 2 objective phases, seem to be in pretty good command of this map. We shall see what comes of the next interaction between these 2 squads. Amateur opponents is going to hit 20 first if things continue going as they are. There might be a little bit of a sneaky engage here. We see a bush meta. Uncomfortably Numb thinking of the same thing. It's going to be Cassia who gets caught out first. Light Bomb comes out. Cassia survives all of that. Multiple ultimates. Li Ming will not though. Amateur opponents the first team to lose a hero in this particular engage. Pilot of Earth down to 270 health and then blown up as Chen jumps. Kick to the face. And Raynor dies down by the siege camp area. That's 2 deaths on the blue side and 1 death on the red side. There may be more though. Uncomfortably Numb is moving in for more kills. E-Day, 300, 200, 100 health and 0 health. Blown up along with Anduin, and this could be a core call. Yes, Uncomfortable Numb is moving onto the core. They want this win. They want a game 3. You will not dominate us, they say. As they move in. Only Chen is there to defend. Core is down to almost no health, and that will be GG for Uncomfortably Numb, and we're going to see the first game 3 of my Season 11 casting career. Exciting stuff. Well done, Uncomfortably Numb, staying in the series, not getting down on themselves after that loss in map number 1. They showed up early and continued the pressure throughout, getting a lot of value from their objective phases. 14 kills to 11. Lucio with top healing in the game, almost 80k. Top XP is Chen, 17k. But it wasn't enough. Did keep amateur opponents in the game, but it wasn't enough. As game 2 goes over to the side of Uncomfortably Numb. What's up, Silver Jackal? Thanks for watching. 6 kills for Chen. Only 1 death. Kelthos having a decent game. 48k damage done. 5 kills, only 2 deaths. But Priority Panda, kind of the star on the blue side for sure. And a nice balanced effort by Uncomfortably Numb. As a team, they're saying we want game number 3. Take a look at the towns real quick. And we're going to Infernal Shrines for the next map. Jump into that lobby. Infernal Shrines. Somewhat similar to the last map in that the objectives are an all or nothing proposition. You summon a giant creature that marches down a lane. Helps do some siege damage. But Infernal Shrines is 3 lanes. A lot more camps are involved. So the meta is going to be very different. So it looks like Uncomfortably Numb chose this map. So first hero pick, we'll go over to amateur opponents. I think my map screen's going to be all messed up because the team's changed sides on me. Changed sides on me, fam. But we'll just do our best. I think we have it right for the most part. Also need to update my scores for these teams. So we're 1-1. Game 3. Maximum 2 points will be earned by one of these teams tonight. Who's it going to be? Since it's still early in the NGS season, we'll be looking at some Storm League stats to see what's going on there in terms of Infernal Shrines. And we see a lot of familiar names, the likes of Diablo and Johanna in the tank realm. We see Tychus, of course, popular right now. Tassadar might see some, keep saying we might see some Brightwing, but it hasn't really come to pass. Johanna, Kael'thas. Saw Kael'thas last game. Highest win rate hero on this map. Do you know who that is in Storm League right now? I hate to say it, but it's Cho'Gall. Fortunately not played much. Followed by Rexar. And here we go to the draft for game number 3 between Division B Northeast teams, amateur opponents, and Uncomfortably Numb. Stand at 1 map apiece, in case you're just joining us. Since amateur opponents has first hero pick, they're also going to be banning first. Alarak, consistently the first ban. Chromie banned again. Saw Chromie in, what was it, game 1? Chromie no more. Amateur opponents spanning out Lucio. As I said, one of the stronger, if not one of the strongest healers in the game right now. We're gonna see tank ban maybe? What are they thinking? Oh, it's gonna be Hogger. Hogger's really good on the objective on this map. There's takes place in a small area, so he can just bounce around if he lands it up just right. But don't have to worry about that because he's banned. Alright, first pick from amateur opponents. What are you going to do? They lay claim to the Kael'thas. Kael'thas has a lot of AoE ability, which can work quite well in the objective area in this map, of course. Also, as I said, last draft, you get a stun out of a mage That's a good thing. What's the response going to be? Johanna and Raynor. Uncomfortably Numb. Starting the tank selection right away. Diablo is still up for grabs. And there he is, followed up by Stukov. Once again, Stukov making an appearance tonight. Stukov played to good effect by Butte Holiday earlier this evening. A lot of hard CC on the side of amateur opponents right now. Nice variety of it. Some AoE stuns, some single target stuns, some silences. Greymane. As I said, this map has a lot of mercenaries. Greymane can be quite a pain when it comes to dealing with that part of the game. Can run around and take the mercenaries really fast. Change the complexion of the map. But not this time. Final ban of game 3. Might be a healer. No, Zeratul. We saw a Zeratul ban earlier as well. Amateur opponents no doubt making use of some tasty research. 3 heroes to go on the red side of the screen. Blaze is chosen. Blaze with the nice AoE qualities to his kit. Can work well with the objective. Also a stun. Bunker could be quite helpful. And Deckard Cain. Another hero with a lot of AoE. Area of effect. Flavor in his kit. A lot of zoning potential as well. No cleanse from Deckard Cain. See how that works out. Tychus and Deathwing. Deathwing, a bit of a spicy pick. Don't see that every game. And Tychus. Deathwing not having to deal with a Tychus because they're teammates. Looks like Deathwing is going to be the off-laner for amateur opponents. Sometimes he's played as a mage in the format. And Li Ming to finish things off. Thought we might see a Gul'dan instead, maybe. But no. Or even an Orphea. But Novus likes the Li Ming. Let's go with it. Wanting those resets. Alright, folks. Who won this draft? Let me know, chat. A lot of combo potential from both of these teams, so we'll see which of them can sort of layer their abilities more effectively than the other. A lot of zone control. The Li Ming resets could be interesting. Although around the objective, her abilities can hit the thing that she's not wanting to hit. Namely, one of the little minion dudes instead of an opposing hero. Kael'thas doesn't really have that problem, so we'll see how that works out. See how Tychus does against the likes of Blaze and Johanna.
Prepare yourselves for battle, heroes.
Game number 3, hype. Let's do it. Amateur opponents are your blue team tonight. Stukov, played by Butte Holiday. Sonics Bro 33, playing Tychus. Terminator, playing Deathwing. E-Day 15 on Diablo. And Cactus Ham, playing Kael'thas. On the red side of the map, Uncomfortably Numb. For game number 3, Johanna, played by Famous. Raynor, played by Mr. Monkey Man. Novus is playing Li Ming. Pilot of Earth is playing Deckard. And Blaze will be played by THC Spectre. Let's go. Out come the potions right away. setting up from Deckard Cain. 5v5 in the mid temporarily, and Blaze hightails it. THC Spectre wants every single one of those XP globes. Terminator letting fly with the fire breath. Famous popping Iron Skin and walking away. Kael'thas, a little fashion forward, takes some poke damage. And we have a rotation down to bottom lane. Famous picks up some XP globes. E-Day hanging out in the vent for just a bit, looking for someone to bother. Finds Mr. Monkey Man, who's also lit on fire by Cactus Hand. Nova's throwing out a globe here or there. A couple of magic missiles into the darkness. And it is Terminator versus THC Spectre in the top lane. Camps are started by both teams. As expected. 2v1 in the middle. Famous going up, just making a claim on some XP, checking things out. Camps taken almost simultaneously. Deathwing having a time top lane, pushing all the way up to the gate. E-Day lunging forward onto Johanna, who is lit on fire by Kael'thas, but has Iron Skin. E-Day taking a lot of damage, retreating down to the siege camp area and gets blown up. That's first blood in game 3 by Uncomfortably Numb. Both teams at level 4. 1 kill to nil. Red team is going to finish off this siege camp without any hassle from blue. Some XP kind of vanishing into oblivion in the middle. For Uncomfortably Numb moves in. Amateur opponents like the idea of taking this bruiser camp right now, so they're going to go ahead and finish that. Objective will be popping up in about 20 seconds. Is there a potential pick? No. I saw a lot of red health bars moving up to top lane, but 3 of them veered off to do the bruiser camp. And amateur opponents are set up early for the objective, which begins right now. Silver Jackal said that he likes the amateur opponents draft a little bit more. Objective is in full swing. First team to get 40 of these minions killed will win the Punisher. Johanna will not be involved for another 15 seconds because she was destroyed by Kael'thas. I heard tell that if you want to win an objective, it's really good to show up early for it. Amateur opponents obeying that maxim, and it's paying off for them as they are going to take the first objective quite easily. 40-5 is the count on that. Sonic's Bro 33 under 100 health. Mr. Monkey Man chasing that kill gets flipped and blown up. The Punisher is an arcane variety, and it's pushing onto bottom fort structure. First Punisher is generally considered to be rather weak, but there's a nice follow-up stun on Johanna after Punisher jumped on Famous. E-Day, though, suddenly, under 1,000 health. Under 600 health. But doesn't die. Not bad value, though, really. That fort is almost at 50%. They got the whole gate down, both towers. Pretty good out of amateur opponents. Meanwhile, Raynor is blown up in the middle of the map. Camps are now an issue. Let's see how the two teams deal with that. Butte Holiday wants to invade, so does Sonic's Bro 33. The rest of the team is moving in. They said, hey, we killed Raynor, let's do something with that, so they move on in. Deckard throwing a triangle out. Just for funsies. So the amateur opponents are going to get both camps. Let's take a look at top lane real quick, and Terminator's still having their way in top lane. Spectre having to play back by the gate. Pilot of Earth moves up. Gonna throw a couple of potions down to help out. That's one way Deckard is strong. You can really help out your offlaner by loading up their lane with potions, and then you can go back to the rest of your team. E-Day fashion forward in that vent, looking for something, anything, but Uncomfortably Numb are not going to give him an easy play. They just stay safe. Amateur opponents have the run of the map right now. They turn the bottom camp blue, while Uncomfortably Numb just manages lanes. Terminator's Deathwing getting damage on the structures proper. THC Spectre moves in to dissuade from further damage. But we have a big mess bottom lane. Lornado comes out. Amateur opponents on the move. Famous hanging out in the vent, as does E-Day 15. Famous almost tempted to come out of the vent. Good patience there.
Ready. A shrine gathers power. You will take it.
The blue bruiser camp started by amateur opponents. Let's check out that top lane again. It's evened out somewhat. Li Ming is bot lane, cleaning that up just a bit. Objective's going to start in 5 seconds. Zul Rule says they scaling. And once again, amateur opponents are the first one to the objective. They start it. Will they finish it? They have pretty good zoning on those in their comp. It's going to be hard to push Deathwing out of there. That silence catching Novus and Mr. Monkey Man. Fire Breath. E-Day sees a stun and a flip. And Li Ming is blown up. Spectre having THC Spectre having to walk through that blob of molten lava from Terminator. And amateur opponents are like, get out of here, we have this. 37 out of 40 of those creatures killed, and now 40. The Mortar Punisher is summoned, moving down mid lane, gets the stun on Johanna, who is then silenced, lit on fire, stunned. She's below 700 health. E-Day seeing another play. There's a flip on Deckard Cain. Raynor uses their ultimate to try to slow down the advance of the blue team. There's another leap, stunning 3 members of Uncomfortably Numb, and the Punisher is destroyed. Amateur opponents have level 13 advantage. They use it to take the siege camp on the right side of the map. What else might they do? They have about a half level worth of time before Uncomfortably Numb hit level 13. They're taking camps first. Let's see if they find an engage, or if they even want. It looks like they do. At least they want this bottom forward. Only Deckard remains bot lane. Throws out the Lornado. Teaches the Peaches. The fort is destroyed. It's the second fort of the game. That have been destroyed. Ooh, THC Spectre just missing the engage stun. Amateur opponents lose. Oh wait. Tychus? Yep. That's 3 kills. Quite the move there. Super aggressive from Uncomfortably Numb, and it pays off as they kill 3 members of amateur opponents. And that's going to unlock their ability to get some siege damage of their own down bottom lane. Looks like they want to even this lane out. Terminator breathes some fire on them though. E-Day stunning Rainer. Tornado catching E-Day just a little bit, but no real follow-up. And just like that, Uncomfortably Numb have enforced their will. They've evened up this lane. No forts in the bottom lane of the map. E-Day, hungry for more, finds Pilot of Earth. Fire Breath everywhere from two heroes. Fire Breath and Lightning Breath. And Deckard Cain, who is notoriously difficult to kill, couldn't take the heat. He's blown up off the map for 20 seconds. Amateur opponents have a 5v4. Lead right now. Who's on the map? The caster said awkwardly, finding words. Two bruiser camps on the map, both of them taken at the same time. And once again, amateur opponents will be first to the objective area. They've done well with that every single time. Terminator drops from the sky. Famous gets shoved away by Butte Holiday. Look at Blaze flying out from nowhere onto Sonic's Pro 33. THC Spectre and Famous are both stunned by Terminator. And Uncomfortably Numb, they're feeling themselves. They're putting out some damage on E-Day, who's blinded. Has to crawl away to safety. Terminator is now sort of on an island. See if we can get back to his team. They do. And Uncomfortably Numb are in a position now to catch up. They're at 11 to 16, 12 to 16. The fight continues. Out comes the laser from Tychus. THC Spectre in with a stun. There's a scroll underneath. Lightning Breath from E-Day. Sonic's Bro down to 27 health. E-Day finishing that kill on Blaze. And with Blaze dead, that is likely to secure this objective, although Uncomfortably Numb are not giving up yet. Ruby is used. So many potions left unquaffed as the Punisher turns blue, and it's going to move from left to right once again in this game number 3. There's the jump onto Johanna. Famous using Iron Skin to walk away from that. And this top fort is going to die pretty fast. Deckard Scroll hits no one. That shove, the long arm of the law, pushing Famous deep into their own base. And amateur opponents moves into the heat structure in top lane. Trying to get a wall down so they can hopefully coordinate with the Punisher, but the Punisher is destroyed. Amateur opponents decides not to press the issue. They're gonna walk away. They do have an 18 to 17 lead on the XP column. Famous doing a good job of researching the map, and amateur opponents moving down to bottom lane. It's pushed unfavorably for them, so they want to clean that up a bit. And here's a forward move from Famous and company. Terminator sniffs it out. Remember what happened last time over this camp. Famous cleaning up the bottom lane just a bit. Lornado shoving E-Day around. That's about it. Maybe. Sonic's Bro 33 chasing Famous just a smidgen. Things are starting to get a little scary now. Death timers are getting longer and longer. We're in the 15th minute of this game number 3. Each of these teams wants to be the one to secure the 2 points. 6 kills to 4. Amateur opponents with a slight lead in that category. And it's a period of calm now, as both teams sort of float around the map and clean up the lanes. Get more XP. It's a race to 20 now. Amateur opponents in the lead there too. They are likely to hit 20 first. So this lull in the action is going to be short-lived, folks. Uncomfortably Numb setting up in middle for now. Where do they want to bush? They're looking for a bush, aren't they? They want to set up. They want to catch amateur opponents unawares. It's like a nature documentary. Famous reveals themselves. They know where amateur opponents is. They're all showing top lane. And the next Punisher phase is going to begin in about 20 seconds. We can have a fight just before then, or are these two teams going to wait for the objective proper before they interact with each other? Sounds like the latter is going to be true. Pull up the stats for you guys. And once again, amateur opponents setting up first every single objective. Deckard taking the taunt, spawns the larger potions. But amateur opponents, they have a huge lead now. They're halfway to securing this Punisher, over half. Uncomfortably Numb, they don't have level 20, so they're just going to let them have it. It's unfortunate for them that the XP just didn't quite add up in their favor that time. So it's going to be all about the defense. Are they going to fight past the Punisher? Are they going to fight in their base? Remains to be seen. E-Day and Cactus Ham also working on the siege camp just above bottom lane. Additional annoyance for the red team to have to deal with. There's the jump. Punisher is in the keep area. Famous already used Iron Skin. She stunned and blown up. That could be all that amateur opponents needs to finish this off. We'll see. Pilot of Earth taking a lot of damage. Novus as well. 4 members of Uncomfortably Numb defending violently. The keep is gone. The Punisher is about to fall. Let's see if amateur opponents once more. They do get another kill. That's Blaze blown up. And amateur opponents have made the core call. Li Ming is dead. Mr. Monkey Man almost died but survived, is able to get a kill. Tychus is dead. 2 members of amateur opponents, now 3 hitting core. Core is at 50%. And it looks like they might just pull this off. Yes, they will. That's going to be GG for game number 3. A 2-1 victory for amateur opponents. And a hotly contested set. Amateur opponents taking it. They get 2 points on the night. Woo! Stukov, 68k healing. Butte Holiday. Deckard, Pilot of Earth, responding with 61k healing. Only 1 death for each of those healers. Pretty clean. The game was, well, largely bloodless compared to the past matches. 9 kills to 6 in favor of amateur opponents. Deathwing with 17k XP. Blaze with 14k. Nice balanced effort from both of these teams. Diablo sharing most kills with Kael'thas at 3 apiece. Deathwing, no deaths. Star of the show in some ways. Pretty much every stat category in the lead on the blue side. Let's see if we can get the talents up here first of all, and then an interview with tonight's champions, amateur opponents. See what we can make happen. Perhaps I'll be joined by Butte Holiday. Saw some. Hello, is this Butte Holiday?
It is. Hi.
Hello, congratulations on the 2-1 victory.
Thank you. It's very scary. Very scary. My hands were shaking, not only because it's like negative 10 degrees where I live, but also because it's a really solid team. And it was our first game, so of course it's gonna have those nerves.
Oh yeah, early season jitters. Although they weren't showing for you too much in game number 1.
Tomb is Tomb is a great map. They drafted some very spicy picks. It's a good thing we like spicy food. We were expecting the Valera. Yes, we were expecting the Valera, but he did a really great job of harassing our backline and the Tracer as well. So we really had to make sure we adjusted. And I needed to pre-swipe early. They were doing a great job with Unstoppable and keeping in there and making sure they secured the kills. So it was a very odd matchup for us, to be honest, because we're not really used to those picks. So it was really cool to see them out and be successful through a lot of the game. But we played to our strengths, and which is team fighting, and we played the macro game really well. So it worked out for us.
I was going to ask about some of these unusual picks, because we saw Chen, we saw Deathwing. These aren't heroes that I see every day in League play. So, yeah, I was curious if you were taken by surprise, especially by that game 1 comp.
With the scouting
research
that we were
Yeah,
with the scouting we were able to do, the target ban on Alarak, their Alarak player is incredible. They had a disgusting Alarak and Kerrigan combo, which we wanted no part of, and the ETC. So we didn't really want to risk it for the biscuit there, but so that was a definite ban for us. But they were still able to get a lot of damage on our backline, so we were kind of struggling to juggle like who we needed to focus, but we ended up really focusing down, the picks we got, which was really good, and it worked out for us. But it gave us a lot of trouble, and it was really cool to. I think it really helped us improve playing against those picks, especially with people that are really good at them. So
what would you change about game 2? Hit a bit of a speed bump there.
Yeah.
What's the lesson learned?
Lesson learned.
If
game
any.
2. So I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but the Lucio game 2 reminded me a lot of Medivh's, where you can't dump everything into a person or a group of people with a Lucio player on the field. Exactly, unless it's the Lucio player. I did early pick the Anduin out of safety, and the light bomb combo is really, it's great. But they did a really great job, especially the healer, of making sure he was aggressive but never in the shield combo, and so he was able to negate the majority of what our comp was meant to do. I don't know. I think we just need to not give them easy picks. I think we maybe go with our Lucio ban, but the Hanzo is really good. You can't ban everything out, especially against a really skilled team that they have, a lot of options to pick from in their DPS. And there were some roster, changes. We weren't sure who was going to play what based on, our research going back to season 9, so we weren't really sure like what was going to happen. So
research is always a bit Go ahead, sorry.
Exactly. No,
I was
you're
gonna
good. Yeah.
I was going to say research is always sketchy at the start of the season, right? You don't know what
Yeah.
people have been working on and so on. So that's, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We their game against Regen Ghost on towers was so. I didn't even want to watch it because I saw a Murky and a TLV. I'm like, I don't want
Oh,
this. Like,
yeah.
we don't want it. But yeah, it was great to watch. And again, like I'm shocked the Alarak got through both games. It was extremely impactful. So we wanted to make sure that was one avenue of success for them. And so we wanted to shut it down really quickly. So yeah, they did a great job. The Leo was on the back line. His over the terrain and tombs were great. We just struggled a little bit, I think, to maintain vision. And we were, I think, playing the back foot instead of being a little bit more aggressive and looking for picks. So I mean, I might change up our DPS picks if I had to go back, but I think we kind of played ourselves a little bit. But I mean, you can't discredit, them game 2. They played really great, especially their healers. So gotta shout out the healers.
Sometimes the opposing team is just on and there's not much that you could change really. But I have to point out one highlight in game 2, just from a fellow healer perspective. You had a Anduin kill on Lucio. Remember that top lane? You were sort of chasing Lucio around, but the kill ended up going to you, so that was kind of fun to call out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm known for taking a lot of kills for my damage dealers. If a fellow Brightwing player is listening, I'm sure they're laughing right now, knowing that that's totally true, and the DPS hate you for it. So.
All right, so game 3, there was a particularly scary moment for you, sort of mid-game, when they invaded your camp, and then things seemed to be going the wrong way. But then what happened? You turned it around. You want to talk about tank, maybe your comms or some resilience there on the side of your team?
Yeah, our tank called out Blaze was bot side, and the way he rotated, and he goes, I don't know if we should be doing this. And we kind of thought we'd be able to kind of duke it out really quickly. And I exploded. Sonics exploded. Like, there was literally, I don't think I was alive for more than like maybe 0.8 seconds. And doing, research on them, they're a very aggressive team. They look for picks, they look for plays, and I think with E-Day's warning, if we had heeded E-Day's warning and knowing what their team does, we should have known that was happening and we should have backed off. But I mean, again, like, that's what a good team does, is they find those opportunities and they take full advantage of them. And we were able to defend, a little bit, but they did get a lot of value. So we just needed to stabilize. And I think our strategy of focusing on our macro, making sure we had safe rotations. When we saw them on the map, we kind of were able to predict semi where they were going and have an idea. And the Deathwing pick was great. And by the way, I would invite you to check out Dershane Train, i.e. ST Terminator's profile. He loves the Chen. He has a soft spot in his heart for the pandas. And I will tell you, last season it did pull a lot of bans. He's really great on Chen. It didn't end up working out, obviously, but he is great on Chen. And here we are, Deathwing. Didn't think we'd get to that point. But Shane did a really great job, and Shane's been working really hard on Deathwing, and so we figured let's give it a shot. It looked really good. They didn't have too much really that could really pressure the Deathwing, and so we think that that deterred them from a Kerrigan last pick, which I think ended up to our favor, because Kerrigan is also another one of the characters they really like to play that they're really good at. Yeah, exactly. So I guess maybe it did work. Maybe they weren't thinking of Kerrigan, but it worked out. So.
Well, you paired it with Tychus too, so they didn't have that option either. So that was pretty smart.
Yeah, Sonics and Cactus both have been working really hard on Tychus. So, and Sonics, brought his A game on it. And I do want to say props to Cactus, because we brought the KT back. So it was really cool to see Cactus on some KTs.
Yeah, another thing about game 3 that stood out to me, and well, you mentioned your macro before and relying on that. Your team was first to every one of those objectives, and it paid off for all but one of them, I think. And that's something that my team's coach talks about. If you're going to seriously contest an objective, be there first, right? And you put on a clinic for that being true. That game 3.
Yeah, we drafted good shrine clear and also good team fight. We've gotten burned pretty bad on that map when we chose to not draft, shrine control or shrine clear, and so we struggle to kind of figure out what we need to do. And our engages aren't as set in stone. So it was really good. I think our draft was really great. And it was cool to see like Deathwing get a lot of value, especially in those really tight corridors.
Yeah, for sure.
Hogger being banned out, and the Gazlo. Gazlo was a banned game 3, but which was good, but no one wants to see Gazlo anymore. But yeah, that was our goal, and because we've been working really hard, and that's kind of our game, is like we rely on our macro and our team fighting, which is pretty much most of the game. But
yeah,
I'm glad it worked out for us. Yeah, I'm glad it worked out for us, I guess.
We basically focus on the entire game.
Exactly, yeah. My team is yelling at me because apparently I've revealed all
Giving
of our
away.
secrets.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we don't have secrets. Our profiles are open books.
That's
Feel
right.
free to check them out. Like, we really don't have anything to hide, but at the end of the day, it's what team can execute, and we were fortunate enough to be on our end game. Apparently, I'll reveal more secrets next week.
Next time. Well, hey, I'm casting, I think, your next game, so we can get into more secrets then.
Oh boy, yes.
But one thing that's fun to reveal is shout-outs. Do we want to get to that right now?
I would love to.
Okay.
First, shout-outs to Uncomfortably Numb. You guys were great. It was actually really nice playing a little bit earlier than we normally do, so thanks for that. Thanks for the awesome games and being really awesome sports. Shout out to their healer for the amazing jokes game 3 about the weather.
Oh yeah, I saw those.
I spit some water on my keyboard, so appreciate that. It's been quite a week. Huge shout outs to you. Casting's a lot of work, and I'm sure it's going to be a great cast. I'm really excited to rewatch it.
Oh, I hope so. Fingers crossed.
So thank you for that. And then shout out to my team, my men, my boys, my men. I love them more than a lot of things in this world. And we came back from some crappy day today, and here we are showing up. So props to you guys for working hard, and shout out to Ouija and Grizz, our 2 subs. They're amazing. And I can't think of any more shout outs. Shout outs to NGS for this awesome league.
Here.
I got to shout out NGS. I got to do it.
Awesome. Well, great to talk to you. Congratulations again on the 2-1 victory. Great start to your season, and it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. And again, thank you for casting. We're all really excited to rewatch the VOD, and we're excited to get picked up. So we were like, wait, is he scouting us? And then I think you're in the other, aren't you on the other side of the division? Yeah,
we're in West.
Okay. So. Well, unfortunate you're not in the better of the 3 divisions, sides of the United States, but it's okay. Maybe you'll learn.
Well, maybe we'll scrim sometime. It's always fun to play you guys.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
All right. Well, hey, until next time, congratulations again.
Thank you so much. And I guess we'll talk to you on Sunday.
Yeah, see you then.
Bye.
Okay, bye. All right, folks. That was Butte Holiday, captain of Amateur Opponents. Excuse me, captain of Amateur Opponents. Tonight's victor in a 2-1 set. Hard-fought 2-1 set over Uncomfortably Numb in Division B Northeast.